In.
Hi, Sherry.
Hey, good to see you. That's good. Yeah, the lighting looks good, Sushi. You're doing it. Really nice.
Perfect.
Okay, we've got a few more people just coming on into the Zoom room, but of course, we are live on the Zoom, on the Facebook and the LinkedIn, all because of Sam's amazing tech support, fashioning. And we are all here together on St. Patty's Day.
Woohoo.
Woot! So that's why I'm wearing the green. And I put my shenanigans coordinator shirt behind me because I am the shenanigans coordinator. It just feels right. I know it. Uh, but we're here for a particular reason. So and Mayrat, if I've got that right, come on in. Welcome, welcome. And is it Lydianis RS? Ooh, very lovely green grass. Enjoying that immensely. That is not the spring that we're experiencing here in Ontario.
Hello, sorry, I don't know why I'm not seeing myself, but I'll work on that. Thank you for welcoming me and hi.
Thank you for being here. And the green is quite apropos for St. Patrick's Day today. Very nice. All right, Terry, come on in. Mayrat, come on in. Sam, how are we doing? Are we feeling it?
We're feeling it. We're live. We're ready to go. Welcome, y'all. Thank you for joining us, man, spending your time with us. We're super excited. So thank you, man.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for taking this hour. And thanks, Sam. And Sam and I are the ones that have put this stuff together. We are part of Broadmind, as well as Sushi has joined the team to help support a lot of things that we're trying to do. So Sushi, I'm glad that you're here as well. And for those who are taking this hour, thank you. I'm really glad that you're here. And this hour, it's for you. The idea here is we are talking about managing stress and supporting your team. Well, that could be a challenge that we're facing, and we want to understand a little bit more about the skills and the tools to be able to do that, because I'm going to tell you, the stress, man, is everywhere. There's a lot of stress going on. And Mayrat, thank you. I'm happy you're here too. So let's talk about some of the skills and the tools that we've encountered as we've been supporting people over the past, well, Sam and I have been working together, 5 years now? It feels that way. Yeah, we should celebrate that. I've been in the mental health space since 2010. Part of my story is that I'm a mental health professional, but I once was a military engineer. And so that transformation was one that I needed because I needed more skills for myself in the workplaces that I found myself in. And you know what? Those skills were immediately usable and needed in my family situation too. My relationship with my husband and my relationship with my children. So as we focus on and talk about managing our team and stress in the workplace, please know that these skills are available, applicable to every aspect of your life. So this hour is a gift for you as well as the people that you're supporting. Everyone can see the screen, I'm hoping. Okay, yeah. There's our cute logo for Broadmind Strategies for Mental Health. Just look us up on the line, broadmind.ca or broadmindmentalhealth.ca. Oh, and thank you. I am going to record if everyone is okay with recording. Can I get some thumbs for, we're just capturing the moment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because sometimes I'm not entirely sure what's going to come out of my mouth, and we want to capture that. We want to just really thank you for the thumbs. Appreciate you. All right, so I am a big fan of getting a sense of where people are, and it doesn't have to be painful. It can be just a little light and delicious. So we're going to do a quick check-in, and those who are watching us live, just check in with yourself, or you can type it in to the Facebook, the LinkedIn. But the scale of guinea pig and how you're feeling, which one kind of reflects how you feel? Lisa, I love your smile. You're like, I see, which guinea pig reflects your feeling. You do? Which one?
Okay, well, I'm a combination of 1 and 8, definitely, because I am trying to get myself organized and stuff finished before I tap out for some fabulous self-care on vacation. So definitely feeling quite miscombobulated, frenetic of like, oh gosh, what have I forgotten? Like that. So definitely 1 and 8. Yeah.
A beautiful combo. I love
It
that.
is what it is, Sherry. Like, I don't know.
It is. And I'm really glad that you're getting away to just recharge and yeah,
Yeah.
good for you. And we will do a coffee at some point in the future after that.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Thank you. Me too.
And it will go to let's do it now without the please. So I'm just warning you. Just
Yes.
letting that know.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Anyone else? Guinea pig feeling? Check in?
Yeah, 3 probably for me, Sherry. Like I have a client meeting at 1, so I thought I'd start the call and get on the road. But I don't want to miss a minute of this, and I know how impactful these webinars are. So I wanted to come to this, but 3 for sure, especially.
Thanks, Sushi. Thanks for making the time too. And that is a very cute guinea pig, gotta say. That one looks happy, but also activated, ready to do something. Yeah. Beautiful. And Lydianis.
Yeah, I'm smiling because I have to pick 6. Look at that face. I'm returning from March break holiday with my daughter, and I'm just here today, like Monday. Okay, what's going on? And I have another training, long one at 1 from 1 to 4, related to my work at World Skills. So that's me, like kind of poker face mixed with, yeah, we have to do this anyway. So let's go.
Hey, thank you for sharing that. Coming back from spring break, a transition, right? Something that you're trying to get back into the workplace, and then to dive into more training. I'm really glad that you're here. Well done. And that is a cute guinea pig. Yeah. Good check in. Hey, Harry, you want to check in? Little scale of guinea pig?
Could you hear me, Sherry?
I can. I'm glad you're here.
Oh, good. I'm happy to be here. Number 1.
Number 1. Yep.
Still on vacation.
I love that. Harry and I met on vacation, actually. Delightful couple. Sam and I were just talking. You're Sudbury, Harry? Is that right?
Yep, just outside Sudbury.
Just outside Sudbury. I'm really glad that you're here. Thanks for making the time. And say hi to Tammy.
Tammy says hello.
Hi, Tammy. Delightful. Traveling and getting to meet some wonderful people. Welcome. Anyone else want to check in? We're doing a little guinea pig. This stuff I loved. During the pandemic, when these scales of feelings came out, I thought it was just a nice way to start talking about how am I feeling? What reflects me? And so this guinea pig one I've used a lot. I've leaned into it heavily, but there are many. There's dogs and cats and Darth Vader and Nicolas Cage. It's just a nice toe dip into talking about something that maybe we haven't yet had some experience with naming or identifying how we're feeling and then what to do about it. So we're going to touch a little bit on that. But what you've done already is something a little mentally healthy, right? Just giving yourself a moment to think about that. And then giving other people a moment to sort of see and hear you. It feels pretty good. All right, so what are we going to talk about? And, I hear that there's a couple of people, Sushi and Lydianis, you've got meetings at 1. So we're going to cut off some time at the end here so you can get to your next session, as well as take up a little bit of a break. So we'll get there. But what we're going to cover in our time today is, I wanted to spend some time talking about the S word, the whole idea of stress, stressors, survival, this whole notion that the world itself has so many things that are challenging our well-being. Would you agree? And it's not just current events. If you are watching the news or watching the TikTok, it's our daily interactions with people. This blessing and curse, is something that causes a lot of stressors. And it's something I think we need to talk about. And I'd like to share with people that even as I was a young person starting work and starting to raise a family, the word stress caused me stress, right? If people would ask, are you stressed? I'd be like, no. So there's something about our understanding of stress that needs to be rebranded, I think. So we're going to talk about that. How do we manage? How do we look at it? What's our perspective? And then how do we support our teams who are experiencing stress? And so when I say teams, typically we're thinking about the people that we work with, that we support in our workplaces, but our teams could also be in our families, in our communities. We are a collective. So I want to just sort of expose or expand that knowledge. Yeah, we're focusing on our workplaces, but please know these are human skills that we're going to talk about. And then if you are in a leadership position, someone that people look to for guidance and planning and communication, what do you do to take care of you? So we're going to pause there too. And some of the next steps, because we have some ideas. And the fact that you're here for an hour to kind of talk about this stuff, those steps, I wish I could give you points. And I think I'm gonna give you 10 points, everybody, for just taking this hour for yourself. It's a gift. Thank you. Yeah, points. So our workplaces, like I was saying, just like the places we find ourselves spending time with other humans, can be sources of challenges or stressors. Look at the picture that I put behind this workplaces piece. Do you see what's going on there? What do you think? What's the story you think that's going on in that picture? I know.
I mean, there will always be opinions, people who look at you and have, again, judgment, concerns, burdens, deadlines.
Yeah.
That can cause stress. And sometimes you are in control, and probably most of the time we are not.
Very insightful and very correct, right? Some things are within our control and many things are not. Yeah, I like that story. This sort of, there's stressors, something's happening. There's sort of a gossipy kind of thing. There's a misunderstanding. There's an us, them kind of situation. Any other stories come to mind when you see this picture, or any other stories in your workplaces that cause this sort of friction?
There's also like two sides causing stress to this woman on the right, I think. The people in the background that are talking and pointing, but also this blacked out, stern looking person on the other side of that person who is just staring and maybe judging. We can't really see who that is. We don't really know their role. So like two sides of the conflict, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people on your left, the people on your right. I don't want to say ahead, above you, below you. That doesn't feel right, but so all sides being impacted by expectations at the least, I would say.
Yeah. Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, it's all sort of points to the stories in our head, the interpretations of what's going on, the idea of judgment, the idea that, there are different stories in each person's head that may or may not be causes of pain, stress, and more. Sushi, you came off mute. Did you have a comment?
Yeah, it's to me it's not being outcome focused, focused on the client because of all the stresses. People tend to become very inward as of figuring out, okay, how do we add value to clients?
Yeah, there's a lot that could potentially be going on here, and interesting how our interpretation may have a little bit of an indicator of some of the things we've experienced in workplaces as well. And I think this picture really resonates with me because it's the idea of this misunderstanding, this sort of maybe gossipy type piece. But can you imagine if this woman on the right just found out that she's got maybe a mental disorder? She just got diagnosed with something, or even she got diagnosed with cancer and didn't know how to share that with people. And maybe in her head, she feels that everybody's laughing and pointing like they are in the picture, but maybe they're not. So these stressors are coming from a variety of different places, but a lot of them are living in our heads rent free. And so it causes conflict and challenges in communication and more. And I also like Lydiana, you were talking about it could be workload related. Maybe she is in a situation where she's taken on all the workload and maybe she's the one that's like laughing at them. There's a lot of interpretations. So the idea here is what we would really love for our teams, especially in those situations, is to have maybe clear communication. Wouldn't it be great if we just could all sit down and go, hey, you know what? I thought this. Oh, you thought this? Well, I didn't appreciate this. You'd have those clear communication to reduce those misunderstandings. If this were left to go, conflict is inevitable, right? That's not what I said. Well, no, that's what you said during the meeting. Oh my gosh, you never get it right. Like that stakes are high, emotions are high, and opinions are different. You know, we want people to have the ability to solve these problems, solve all the problems in their situation, not only work related, but human related. And we would love it if people were more collaborative and connected. Sorry, that bleepy blop blop noise that you're hearing, I didn't turn off my LinkedIn. And it's an indicator that somebody likes my stuff. So, you know, that's a good thing. The bleepy blop blops are fun. Wouldn't we like a workplace that has a culture of empathy, real human connection, compassion, not only the connection with humans, but this desire to help each other, and overall connection between humans, the desire to be there and to support each other because we are a collective. So wouldn't it be great to have these skills? Wouldn't it be great that we focus on and practice those? Well, what gets in the way? Well, it's tigers. Tigers get in the way. Okay, not real tigers, right? Because there's like, can you imagine? Our tigers today, because we usually in the psychology realm talk about the threats to our security. And we imagine going back thousands and thousands of years ago to maybe the savannah, the desert, or back in the day when people were just starting hunting, gathering, learning, and that saber-toothed tiger would come out of nowhere. Our brains back then have very similar characteristics to our brains here today that have very similar characteristics to that lizard that's walking around, like the small ones and the big ones. And Lisa, I hope you're going somewhere where there are lizards. Maybe, are you? You are, good. Lizards, excellent, lizards. That fight, flight, freeze response. The tiger comes out and we will fight it if we can, run away if that's the next option and it's available to us, or freeze if our bodies and minds just don't know what to do. It's standard response. It's a very primitive, old part of our brain. And I'm very thankful that it's there. It's keeping us safe. The challenge is in 2025, the tigers, big ones, kind of like watching the news. Like last week watching the news, I highly do not recommend. Those could be big tigers. The economic situation could be big tigers. Challenges with relationships at work and at home, those could be big tigers. Or even the text that you got from your mom, you know, or someone that you care about who's judging you, right? That could be a tiger. We have tigers coming at us, stressors coming at us from all different angles. And I got to tell you, again, blessing and potentially a curse, the number of tigers that come out of this little device is amazing. Now, there are benefits to it, but there are also things that we need to pay attention to. And the interesting thing about all of these stressors, these tigers, is that, yes, there are more today than there ever have been. But in our first responder and veteran community, we've been learning how to manage these tigers. It's time that we all have the skills and the knowledge to know that the tiger's there and what are we going to do about it? To know that the stressor is there, a stressor, which is an attack on our safety. That's how our body is treating it, an attack on our safety. So what are we going to do about that? And so if you've ever felt that fight response where you're trying to avoid or escape or run away, maybe it could be more irritability, frustration. Have you ever snapped at someone? Are you quick to anger? Clenching your fist, shaking, those kind of behaviors, those could be the manifestation of that fight response. Anyone here ever snap at someone and you're like, ooh, that was not my best self? Sushi, I see you coming.
Never. That never happened.
We're going to peel that that layer back a little bit. Yeah. Sometimes we're not our best selves. And that's okay too. And it's just paying attention to it so you know what you can do to get yourself back to safety. There's that flight response. That could be that you withdraw from conversations. Maybe you're overworking, excessive busyness, just to avoid dealing with that stress, or fidgeting. Maybe you avoid eye contact. That could be a flight response. Your freeze response is this shut down or feeling stuck. Maybe it's like you struggle to make decisions, or you feel foggy, or you go quiet, or you zone out, or you stare blankly, or this is where I find myself, you just, everything goes like I just did. I just went blank, right? Your mind goes blank. And even procrastination. So just paying attention to all of these stress responses and the resulting behaviors, they're indicators. And so I also wanted to bring this sort of fawn response. This comes up a lot, this people pleasing or over accommodating. Have you ever said yes too quickly without thinking about it? Over apologizing, prioritizing other people's needs over your own. Do you see how stress manifests in our behaviors? And do you think that's in our best interest and the best interest of the team? And wouldn't it be interesting to recognize these in the people around us and give them grace and recognize, oh my gosh, their body is in a stress response, a very natural stress response. So now that we know what that could look like, then maybe we want to sort of learn to understand and manage those responses and respond thoughtfully to help others in their stress response. Because I got to tell you, one of the things we're learning in the veterans community and first responders community is that the words and how we respond to others, it really matters. When someone is hurting or in this chronic stress response, it matters how we respond. So you can imagine you're trying to help someone who is in fight or flight or freeze, and you're in fight or flight or freeze. So you're not your best self. Can you imagine how much miscommunication happens? How much conflict arises? Right. So do you think that managing the stress response is important? Yes. So how do we do that? Step one, a thermometer, figuring out where you are. And so I bring in what the Department of National Defense created. This is called the mental health continuum. Has anyone ever seen or heard of the mental health continuum? Yes, Lisa has. Yes. and not others. That's okay. This is a tool that is being widely accepted as, a subjective way of getting a sense of where other people are in their mental well-being and ourselves. As a reformed engineer, I really like having tools still after studying psychology and diving into psychology, I still love the engineering type tools. So this one is as close as I can get to an engineering type tool to try and help us get a sense of where we are so we can have our own understanding of our own healthy, right? How do we react to things? What's our perspective, our attitude, resulting behaviors? We all have our own healthy and green, and we can kind of get a sense of where people are in their own healthy and green. We all have ways of reacting to adversity, challenges, stressors, tigers. We'll feel it, we'll react to it. There'll be a resulting behavior. And sometimes that yellow can be a really lovely reaction, right? Like the other day, my husband dropped a glass on the kitchen floor. And I went, oh, the stress response, right? Because there's a lot of things happening when there's glass on the floor, right? You got to stress response. And I tried my very best not to go, ah! And just start to snap or lose it. Why'd you do that? Reaction, paid attention to it. All right, are you okay? So there's ways that we could actually react to stuff that could be better and better. And so paying attention to that and also recognizing when you're in that reaction. And for me, I tend to recognize that, generally speaking, I know I'm reacting to stuff when I'm irritable, when I'm short-tempered, when I've lost patience with people, when I'm no longer curious or grateful. That could be a way of seeing that you're in this yellow. Because the more you spend in this yellow zone without managing and supporting yourself to green, the more likely you get pushed into this injured situation. Coping, surviving. Anyone ever feel that? Yeah. Many of us have. And there is a way out. We'll talk about that. But step one is, that's where I am, or that's where someone that I'm supporting, they're in survival mode. Because the longer you spend there, the more likely you get pushed into this red, an injury or illness. And currently our healthcare system, I believe, is a red healthcare system. Meaning we wait until the things have gone really badly before we get help. How do you feel about that? Yeah. And actually, Lydianis, are you in Canada or are you in the States? Oh, you're French. I see the French. You must be Canadian. No?
I am in Ottawa.
You're in Ottawa. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just checking because the healthcare systems are, of course, different in different places, but I think the idea is similar. It's not a preventative system. It's a waiting for injury or illness. And so I think it's really important just to use this as a continuum, knowing where you are so you know what your next steps are to take care of you. And we'll talk about some of those things that you can do. Because I believe that we could get to a point where we are functioning well. We are thriving. We deserve to thrive. And I got to tell you, during the pandemic, I think I got a taste of maybe 65 minutes of feeling like I was thriving throughout those 4 years or 5 years. It was hard to get to for me. And that's okay too. But it is possible that we could get out of that survive, cope, and connect with and enjoy a life that we love. So how do we do that, generally speaking? And I'm sure you've heard of many of these things. I'm just trying to put it into a context of, you know what? These things they're meaningful and they matter. If you want to be a better communicator, if you want to resolve conflict, if you want to show up as a real human with other humans, this response is something that we need to take the wheel on. And so when you feel yourself yellowy orange, or when you see others on your team or in your family or community yellowy orange, yep, the research points to the fact that once we slow it down, practice some presence, mindfulness, or even taking a pause in this situation so that you can actually respond instead of react in that fight, flight, freeze. And you can gain the benefits of presence and mindfulness just by doing a little bit in the moment, but the benefits get better and better and better when you turn it into a practice. And go to the YouTube. The YouTube has so many different mindfulness and presence practices. The whole idea of paying attention to and listening to our body, our thoughts, and our feelings, almost like the guinea pig check-in, right? That was one way of slowing it down and getting a sense of, yeah, how am I feeling? Our society, our culture, we have this really strange way of checking in on people. Has anyone ever, well, I use this almost every day still. How you doing? Good? Good. That's how we check in on each other. Because if you ask someone how you doing, you're expecting good, fine, okay, maybe even a great, but you're not looking for the reality of the situation. And I have a friend this came from a different country, and she shared with me, she said, one of the things that she found was very interesting about our culture is that we ask that question and we don't want to know the answer. And she said somebody did ask her that at the grocery store, how are you doing? And she's like, she was pausing to actually tell them how she was doing, but they were gone. So that idea of not only checking in on ourselves, but others. And this may feel like a buzzy word, but the idea of boundaries, this one, huge curiosity for me. I am a Gen Xer. That means that we were born between 65 and 80. That means that we were feral. We grew up different. And so the whole idea of boundaries, about standing up for your own thoughts, feelings, emotions, did not exist. Boundaries are really a way of understanding what you need as a human, what other people need as humans, and being able to effectively communicate that. And can you see that when you start to use boundary language or understand boundaries, and that's boundaries for your time, your energy, your values, and more, physical and more. Once we start to use the boundary language, that might elicit a tiger or stress response in other people. So you may see that in your team members when they start to practice boundaries or respect. You may think that is, insubordinate. But the idea there is they're trying to communicate how they would like to be treated. And that's a huge, wonderful conversation if people are in this moment of no stress. I said no stress. I'm going to say manage stress, right? Because the stress is there. It's about what we're doing with it. And I'm going to also put here a pro tip is, I'm calling it actual self-care. The whole idea of self-care, Sam, myself, and the team, we're blowing this up on its head. We're saying the way we've been looking at self-care, we messed it up. Self-care is our new imperative. If our healthcare system is a red healthcare system, and we need to recognize how to manage our day-to-day tigers, it's our new normal to bake in the care of us. And I'm not talking about bubble baths, people. The bubble baths aren't the only thing that take care of you. No, these are foundational pieces, and I'll tell you what we do to help support people to build real care. Now, knowing all of this, getting a sense more of, hey, how people are, what's going on, checking in to see if they're in a stress response, if you're in a stress response, here's some of the things that we can do as we breathe, practice presence, mindfulness, slow things down. We could show up for others. And even if we feel like we're yellow-orange, we could still show up and treat people like people without that quick negative judgment. Okay, I'm just going to ask, who here has ever quickly and negatively judged another human being?
Yeah, been there, Sherry.
Yeah, exactly. Almost, it's a moment-to-moment experience. Yeah. And so Judgy Judgertons, humans, we unite. We recognize that that's what we do. And it is also part of this survival technique I think we have. We quickly go, I wouldn't wear what that person's wearing. Something about you feels uncertain, fearful, unsafe. Or I wouldn't do what they're doing. Or I wouldn't say what they're saying. And so do you see when that's on autopilot, when we haven't paid attention to that, that impacts the way we treat each other. And so we can show up, pay attention to this huge response that we're having, but we can also pay attention and just say, you know what, people are who they are. They've experienced things that I have no idea about. And they are managing their life the best that they can in this moment. That, you know what, fundamentally, this is a pro tip. We all want to be seen and heard. Again, go back to the guinea pigs. The guinea pigs was a moment to allow others to be seen and heard, and it's cute. So showing up, even if you're checking in with yourself, but you want to be present for other people, people will know if you're in a big response. You can communicate that. You can say, I really want to be present for you. And maybe now is not the right time, but you deserve to be seen and heard. So maybe we'll find another time to do that. Curiosity, right? Trying to figure out where people are on their path, on their journey. And also, like I said earlier, curiosity for me is an indicator. When curiosity goes out the door, like I don't care what other people have experienced or what they're doing, I know that I'm not okay. You just look for those indicators. And empathy is a skill set. Yeah, we can feel what other people feel. But we can also show them that we feel what they're feeling and we see them and hear them. And I put up eye contact. Our culture loves eye contact. Our culture loves to be seen and heard. We fundamentally love to be seen and heard. So our names, using people's names, it's an empathy technique, as well as diving into their experiences and recognizing that their experiences are different than yours. And so we can imagine them as maybe part of our family, or maybe even see someone as a young child. You know, what would their experiences have been to get them to a place where this behavior is part of their normal? And here's some magic. You want to support your team who's experiencing stress and challenges? Use the magic of validation. Like I have a magic wand in my house. And I'm like, every now and then I'm like, right? I'm going to give you some validation. The fact that I see that you're having feelings and reactions. I see that you're in yellow, orange, or red. And it could sound very much like, you know what? Thanks for sharing. That sounds really hard, what you're going through. Right? That's just keep that in your back pocket. And you may feel weird using it. Hey, that sounds really hard. But then take a look at their face and their expression when they're seen and heard. It's magic. And so trying not to interrupt people when they're sharing, because that invalidates what they're experiencing. And we also try to do a little bit of normalization to say that their experiences, you know what, it's very human. It's very real what you're going through. And the reaction and the feelings that you have are very real. You may not agree with them. You may not understand them, but it's very real for that person. And find questions that you can put in your back pocket that care, just like the one I shared with you. That sounds really hard. Or, given what you're going through, it's so understandable you feel this way. Keep them in your back pocket. Just use them, especially if you're tired or hungry or angry or lonely, maybe not your best self. You've got something just to share with them in that moment. Once you validate, you can go on and do problem solving, more communication. You'll feel like this conflict may have lessened and more. So over to you. How do we care for ourselves as we support other people? Because when we're our best selves, we show up for others in a better way. I think I wanted to just put out the idea of work-life balance. What does work-life balance mean to you? I was waiting for somebody to go.
Well, I'll laugh. I won't hiss at you, but I will laugh. Work-life balance, I think it's another skill that really needs to be supported and crafted and developed and honed, because for me, it's the not allowing all the work stuff to encroach on every second of my being, and knowing that it's okay for me to shut off the little magical devices.
Yeah.
There's other people there when I can't be, and it's okay for me not to always be there. It's actually necessary for me not to be okay there. Not to, it's necessary for me not to be there all the time for other people, because
Yeah.
otherwise I'm,
Oh yeah, there's only so much, the whole idea of a full cup, you're filling other people's cup. When yours is empty,
you got nothing.
you got nothing.
Yeah. So really, really kind of finding that balance of how to shut the door, how to walk away, especially when lots of us work in home-based offices.
Yeah.
At least part of the time, right? And have to do work outside of 9 to 5 hours,
Right.
when our service recipients are available outside of their work hours, right? And taking that time back.
I love that you said that, Lisa, like all of that, you're right. Like there's some blurred lines there. And I like that you said it's a skill. To me, it also touches on the idea of boundaries, just knowing where one starts, one stops. And also I think about the idea that, maybe it's not a stressful balance, but it's more of it's an integration, and it's a prioritization, and it's a recognition, and it's the whole notion, I think, is worthwhile maybe reconfiguring or rebranding this whole idea of work and life. There's just one you too, right?
Yeah. I often think of a rubber band, because the rubber band stays intact. And so sometimes I have to pull the rubber band a little more into the work part if there's a crisis or something I need to attend to after hours. But then I have to pull the rubber band back towards the other side of me.
Yeah.
But it has to stay.
Right. But it's still, it only has so much give and stretch. Yeah.
Before it breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that feeling. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So paying attention to that and the stressors inherent in maybe trying to manage that. What does that look like? And so maybe also care for you is recognizing that you deserve care. Leaders deserve care, and finding ways to prioritize and to take care of you as you take care of other people. So I'm just going to ask that your new mantra is, I deserve care. I deserve care. I deserve care. And we'll talk about that self-care piece, because of course we have a course on that. And then the other thing, I used the word bake it in, and I said this last week with a group. I said, we got to bake in self-care. And one lady was like, so why does self-care need bacon? And I'm like, no, not bacon, like sausages and bacon. I'm like, no, okay, but to bake it in. And so maybe I'll ask all of you, who here has already done some care for themselves today? Show of hands. Lisa, okay, great. Sushi, you've done some care for you. Nice.
You're in for a run.
Good. I love it. Sam, did you do some care for you? Yep. Lydianis? Not yet? Okay. Harry, did you care for you today?
I did.
Excellent. I love that. And Mirat, did you get a chance to care for you?
No, not yet.
Not yet. So I'm here to say that baking in your care, it can be part of your daily, and it doesn't have to be the bubble bath. It doesn't have to be the massage. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. Even in my most frenzied moments, hurried moments, I have a moment just to take care of me and prioritize myself. And I'm doing this because this, for me, is how I manage my nervous system, just bit by bit. I'm telling myself that I'm safe. There's little practices that you can bake into your daily to help train your nervous system to take care of you, and noticing those signs of yellow, orange, and red. Taking a moment and figuring out what your signs are and giving yourself grace and compassion. And of course, the people that you spend time with, we give them grace and compassion. And so Sam just put in the chat too, Lisa, I see that bacon does make everyone better. It's true. If we could have bacon all the time. Yeah. So the self-care stack is what I was talking about in terms of some of these skills that we are baking in. And so what I wanted to propose to you, that there are ways that we humans can upgrade our skill set. I like to say that I am in version 54.6 of Sherry Lachine. This version is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's better than 38.2. That was not okay, right? And so my thing too is I know that each version coming up, just like upgrades, software upgrades that you put on your phone or on your system, some are fantastic and some are maybe could be better, or maybe made your system slower or more. The idea is we're always growing and learning so we can be better communicators. And don't we want our teams to be better communicators, better at conflict resolution, better at solving problems with confidence and showing up for each other very safely so you can collaborate and start to bake in more empathy, compassion, and human connection. In 2024, I started asking people, I said, what is the skill that we need as humans, working with other humans, that we need today more than any other skill? Do you know what I got? What would you say?
Communication.
Communication. I love that, Harry. Yeah. Anything else? Anything else come to mind?
Empathy.
I'd say empathy, yeah.
Empathy. Yeah. Nice. Sushi, what are you thinking?
Yeah, collaboration.
Collaboration. Nice. Sam, what are you thinking?
Definitely empathy.
Yeah. That we show up with real human skills to support each other. It's my firm belief that we can do all of that. We can do all of this when we upgrade our skill set, when we recognize that we are managing not only our bodies, but our nervous systems, our tigers. It's time to learn those skills, because I mentioned Gen Xers, we didn't learn that stuff. We're playing catch up right now. These are significant upgrades, required upgrades. I'm sorry, but it's true. And we're learning them now. And so that's why Sam, myself, and the team have put together what we call the self-care stack. This is taking self-care and baking it in and flipping it on its head. It's taking all of the skills and knowledge that we're learning with veterans and first responders and bringing them to us right now so we can manage our teams, we can manage our own life, we can help others in their moments when they're feeling those stressors. We're helping people stack better is sort of what we're trying to do. Our upcoming self-care stack course is in the chat, April 1st. It's a 1-hour session just to dip our toe into this new way of taking care of us. And at Broadmind, the team, we also do other resilience builders 1 hour at a time, webinars on nutrition, on sleep, on taking care of your body, on burnout, and more. And we bring in professionals to help us get an elevation in our skills, an upgrade. And so we all deserve care. We all deserve thriving. And Lisa and I met, I think you were doing the assist course when I met you, the Applied Suicide Intervention Skills Training. Yes, but also
Well done.
that's a great course too. That's by livingworks.net. And Lisa is an amazing facilitator. Just have to say that.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is truth. I
Thank
speak
you.
truth. And I get to do mental health first aid, which is a lovely complement to all of these trainings. But what mental health first aid, which it has been in Canada for over 20 years, it helps people recognize the signs and symptoms, that yellow, orange, red. We talk about that. And how do you reach out and connect with that person and guide them to resources? Because that can be confusing. So why not get a certification and spend some time with others figuring that out? This is where our workplaces need to elevate and upgrade those skills. It's a one-day course. There's an online module. You get a certificate. Go figure. Love me a certificate. Another course that we provide, which is also a course from the Mental Health Commission of Canada, is called The Working Mind. There's an employee course. That's about 4 hours long. There's a manager course. It's about 6 hours long. And the idea there is another way to upgrade. How do you manage yourself and support others in your workplace? Scenarios are very relevant to day-to-day work. So can you see? This stuff isn't one and done. Like you don't take the half an hour course and go, I got it. We're human and we're adults. We need to come at this from all kinds of different angles. And so just as a reminder, I wanted to I wanted to share, why did I say throw up? It's interesting that I know it's interesting. We provide mental health first aid right across the country. I've been in every province providing this course, and I've met thousands of people. And I think this is one of the best ways to elevate our skills together. A lot of workplaces are training everyone in their workplace. So if you want workplace well-being, you want better communication, conflict resolution, and more, yeah, we got training for that. So go to our website, broadmindmentalhealth.ca. This is our free course, but we've got, that 1 hour stack course. I think we've got it priced very nicely at like $29, $29.99, whatever it is, just to really help people with that commitment to come in and work. Sam's put a whole bunch of other courses up there. I donate my time back to the community by providing some free courses through the Kingston Community Health Center. So reach out to me if you want to talk about how do we do that and just get a little taste. But these are reasonably priced courses just to try it out before you bring it into your workplace. Come and see what we do. It's important work. And I applaud all of you for being here today and taking that moment just to talk about some of the upgrades to your own skill level of being human with other humans. You did great. And Sam also put, if you want to chat for 30 minutes, there's a little link, find some time and we can chat. Yes, I am talking to all of you. Please, let's connect and discuss. Any questions, thoughts before I release you off into your own care world?
It's Harry here. Just going back in my previous, I guess, work, one of the communication things I thought was, and I often talk with Tammy about this, when we communicate with other people, some of the three words that keep coming up to me are treat people with gentleness and dignity and respect, and then just listen actively. Those are the kind of things I think that can make a big difference in meetings and with people, so, for what it's worth.
Harry, that's beautiful. And I'm going to say that the times that we got to spend together on our vacay, you did have gentleness, respect, and dignity. You are what you say you are. That's beautiful.
No jokes, though.
No joke. Please, no jokes. Thanks, Harry. Appreciate that. Any other thoughts, questions? Go forth and with skill, bit by bit, manage those tigers, because you can do it. You can do hard things. Thanks for being here. Mwah. Well done, everybody.
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you. Book some time.
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Really good to see you.
Sherry, my friend, you're astounding as always.
I appreciate you, Lisa. No, we do have to
No.
get together. We have to get together.
Yeah, we do. We have lots to talk about.
Yeah.
And in part, I want to know if you would come virtually or otherwise to team meetings and pass this message along. Do you do a traveling roadshow? Do you Zoom
Yes.
for all?
Yes. The answer is yes, and then we'll figure out the logistics. Absolutely.
All right. I will poke some bears and see if I can get some new and wonderful ideas approaching our team.
I love it. Lisa, you look great, and I miss your energy. I really do.
I miss you. I'm going to text you. We are going to have our date. We are going to get all caught up. We'll have some fun.
Yeah. Thanks, love.
Thanks for your great work. I love it.
Thanks, Lisa.
Bye, friend.
Bye. And Harry, thank you for taking the time. Is Tammy there? A little chat hi.
Yes.
Tammy's here. Yeah. I don't know. Can you see us at all or not?
I can.
Oh, okay. There you go.
No.
Hi, Tammy.
I have a terrible cold and I was afraid I was going to cough my head off. So I sat in the corner, but I listened.
Okay.
And thank you.
She listened actively.
I hope you feel better.
Yeah. Say hi to your mom for us.
Will do. Thanks, Harry. Let's connect again.
Okay, for sure.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, I'll just